Just a moment. We're having a technical difficulty. Okay. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 4:03. Could we all rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. We will now have the introduction of the board members. Would you like to start, Tracy?
Tracy Robinson, District 4.
Barney Cole, District 3.
Terry Thomas, District 2.
Brenda Latson Powell, District 1.
Lynn Miller, Chair, and District 10.
Janet Porter, District 8.
Joe Bogus, District 11.
Rosalie Richmond, District 7.
Do you have a microphone? Put your microphone closer, maybe. Are you okay? Oh, it's on? Okay. All right.
I'm Joe Passman, County Council, and I represent District 5, and I'm the liaison.
Thank you. We have Audra Antonacci Ogden here. Antonacci Ogden here from Community Services. And we have,
Janine Mutterer, District 9. Just a couple minutes late.
that's
Thank
all
you for
right.
your patience.
I appreciate everyone's relatively on time because the traffic is getting to be a real problem. So I thank you so much for being here. We also have a guest, and that would be Jane Farner. And
I'm Stacy.
Stacy.
Yes.
And Stacy is
is
here.
the branch manager of Beaufort. I asked her if she wanted to come watch what we do.
Stacy's good people.
Thank you.
Well, I think I know Stacy pretty well, but the name I couldn't remember. All right. Next, do we have any public comment? Anyone like to say anything? No? Okay, thank you. We have a little bit of correspondence. I'd like to read a letter that we received. Dear Council, this was sent to Councilman Passman and Councilwoman Tabernack, but it was forwarded to Amanda. In honor of National Library Week, I'd like to share my sincere appreciation for your support of the Beaufort County Libraries. As an avid reader and lifelong learner, I am deeply grateful for the resources our library provide, both at the branches and electronically for Beaufort County students. Hoopla, the digital lending library, is one of the most frequent used apps on my phone. As a person who works remotely, I also cherish the inviting study carrels and rooms available at the Hilton Head Library. Bringing my virtual office to the library allows me to interact with other book lovers and accomplish things in a safe and studious environment. During the 10 years I have lived in the county, in Beaufort County, I have had the distinct pleasure of visiting all the library branches, including the newest Port Royal branch. It's hard to say which is my favorite. However, the St. Helena Library is a particularly special place. Please share my gratitude with your fellow council members and all of the Beaufort County Library staff. It is a pleasure to hold a library card in this community. With thanks for your leadership, from a library patron. So I wanted all of you to know that we are appreciated. Thank you. So, Mr. Moore? We have Mr. Michael Moore, the county administrator. Would you like to say anything?
Welcome.
I'm sure you could say on and on, so thank you for the short.
Yeah, well, it's great to be here with you all today. I did have a few things I could say, but I've been the county administrator since July 1st of last year, so coming up on 11 months. I'm glad to finally get a chance to come over and meet the board. I've been trying to get around and meet everybody, so here I am. But I think libraries obviously are big parts of every community. I think where the libraries are throughout the county, I think are important. They kind of anchor some of the areas, and I've been to several of them. I don't think I've been to all of them, but this one in particular I really like because I've been here a couple times, and my grandson has been here too, so that's pretty exciting. He's like year and a half now, so pretty excited about that. But anyway, I think for our council and for me as administration, and it's great to have Audra, who's kind of here as assistant county administrator now. We talk about it's a great place to live, work, and play. Libraries are a key part of that. And, all the residents here in the county, no matter their background, age, or circumstances, deserve access to the tools and opportunities they need to succeed. And we can't fulfill that, obviously, without the libraries and support of this board. I think in terms of, we're in the midst of budget right now, so I think, we're in a good place in terms of that. We had our first reading. We've got a new organization chart, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got Audra here, who's now the assistant county administrator. But we've added some other things. I'm looking at personnel, facilities, and how do we be fiscally responsible. We're going to add a 4th EMS shift to relieve some pressure. We're going to look at facilities maintenance and look at some other aspects of the way we have our enterprise funds and our millage allocations. I'd also like to thank Amanda for all her efforts here. We really appreciate what she does here at the county. From my perspective, I'm grateful for it, and I know she's got a lot of great, credibility and people like to talk about the library. So I'm always excited about that. And going forward, I look forward to working with you all and with Amanda on where we can improve our services and within our fiscal means and working with council on that. So, again, I just want to thank you all for being here and for the opportunity to address you all, and look forward to working and meeting each of you. So with that, and as far as background, I was in York County before I came here for about 3 years. I'm a retired Navy veteran of 30 years and wife of 35 years, 2 sons with the 1 grandson who lives here and 1 lives in Alabama. So fortunate. And it was certainly an attraction to come to Beaufort County, having a grandson who's in the area. So,
Totally understand.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
We have, when Mr. Passament was head of county council, we saw so many great changes, so many positive changes for the county. It's growing like crazy. It's hard to keep up, and we look forward to your changes as well, or your positive influence on the county. So
Well, thank you for that.
thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. Well, we have the library director's report.
Before we do that, can we vote on the minutes?
Oh, I always forget the minutes.
That's okay.
The minutes. Oh, yes, it's right here. Put your glasses on, it helps. Approval of the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes that were sent out? Bernie? Second. Second, Janet? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, they have been accepted. And now the library director's report.
Yeah, so as customary, I do like to utilize a little bit of multimedia to give you some visual. So Mr. Moore, unfortunately, yeah, thank you. I'll be sharing some photos and some updates from the last time that we met, which was in March. A lot of wonderful things have happened since then, and I hope to share that with you today. So as you can see, we've celebrated a lot of fun things, and you're going to hear a little bit more as I go forward. You'll see myself on the very bottom right. During National Library Week, all of our staff at each location visited a county department. And so the administrative team for the library visited the administrative team for the county. And we put some books on shelves in your honor. So we took a photo there. And that's Miss Cheryl Harris, the administrator's assistant. At the top, we have staff from Lobico with our voting staff, our voters registration staff. In the upper right-hand corner, our Port Royal staff visited with Chief Myers and the town of Port Royal PD. The middle, in the middle, is Basket from Stacy and her team. They visited Nexus, the formerly or also known as Beaufort County Alcohol and Drug Office, giving them some goodies about what the library provides. And then on the bottom corner, our bookmobile staff visited the Public Works department. It is Public Works Appreciation time of year, so that kind of worked in there. But our bookmobiles are out and about, as is Public Works, and so we thought that was a great pairing there. I'll start by giving you a little bit of update of where we are on personnel. We have 3 current vacancies in the process of being filled. That would be a library assistant part-time at Hilton Head, library administrator for user experience, and a librarian that will oversee our collection development. Those are all in process. I'm pleased to tell you that we are currently trying to fill 4 summer internships. Well, we'll have an intern at the Port Royal and Beaufort locations, and sometimes popping in on the bookmobile. We'll have an intern at Bluffton, an intern at St. Helena, and an intern at the Hilton Head location. Very thankful to our county HR and for Mr. Moore's support of providing internships throughout the year, but during the summer, you know, we get busy with summer reading, so this will be great to have some additional hands and maybe some future librarians that we get to work with this summer. I do have 4 vacancies that we are actively interviewing for. That would be deputy director, library manager at Hilton Head, senior librarian or the manager at Lobico, and then a library assistant full-time position at Bluffton. And I will continue to frame my the rest of my report around the 4 goals of our strategic plan. As you remember, those are user experience, collection, space, and communication. So we'll start off with user experience. Our goal, just to refresh you, is to provide library visitors with a friendly, informed, and user-focused experience. Last month, I shared with you that we were on track to exceed the amount of library cards that we issued from the previous year. As of our last data of April 30th, we have now issued 5,630 new library cards this year. I know, Janet, you love numbers and context. So what does that mean? Well, last year we issued 4,286. So with 2 more months to go, we're looking at well over 1,000 more cards issued in this year than the previous year, which is a testament to our staff getting out and telling people that the library's here for them and what we have to offer, and most of all, for free.
And I have to say, that far exceeds, you know, we always track that relative to population growth, and it looks like we're going to be at up by about 1/3, which we have growing population, but not where it's increased by 1/3 in 1 year. So that is phenomenal, because when we did the strategic plan, we really aspired to have, you know, every citizen know that they had a cool library to come to, and to have as many library cards as possible. So that's a huge part of our strategic plan. So kudos. Please extend our appreciation to the staff.
Yes, ma'am. Our annual bookmark contest is complete, and I want to draw your attention to the blue folder that you have on your desk. We gave you 1 bookmark. Of course, there are 4 because we do a bookmark for 4 age categories, and so these are our winners. So I tell you who these wonderful people are. The 4 designs are pictured, and well, I'm going to start with the youngest age category and to the adult. Our youngest artist is Evelyn Ellsworth, pictured in the left, and her design is the one that features the volcano. Our next selected artist is Sophia Heitland, and she has the one that has stairs. That might be the one that you have in your packet. I see, Roz, that's the one you have in your packet. And our 3rd category in the teen category is Janessa Bywater. Hers is the one that says Color Your World. And then our adult winner is Emily Masis, and hers is the one that has the lion or the tiger on it. Yeah, so you can collect all 4 by visiting the library this summer, but I wanted to make sure you walked away with a brand new bookmark from our very talented artist. I do want to say that, again, thanks to our staff and also the efforts of the county getting the word out about this this contest, we received 1,025 submissions. That's 143 more than we had last year. So there's 1,025 artists who wanted to become a bookmark, and I'm very proud of these 4 who are featured. As I mentioned, summer reading is right around the corner. It will begin on Saturday, May 31st and go through July 31st. The theme this year is Color Our World, hence the bookmarks with the artist theme on it. Again, just to remind you, summer reading program is not just for kids. We want kids to read, but this is reading for all ages. And we have prizes for all ages. And we keep it really simple. It's very easy to tell someone how to participate. Starting May 31st, they can grab a game board. You have one hot off the press in your packet. We will release those starting May 31st. We don't want anybody getting ahead of us. But all you have to do is read 20 minutes a day and mark off one of those squares or circles on the palette. Let me be clear about what we ask you to read. Whatever you want. You can read the back of a cereal box. It can be your emails, Mr. Moore. It can be text messages. It can be in a good old-fashioned book. It could be a good old-fashioned book. 20 minutes a day is all we ask. And if you notate your game board, bring that in to us after you've completed 30 days of reading, and we're going to give you an opportunity to win a grand prize. Along the way, we give you 3 checkpoint prizes. After your first 10 days of reading, we give you an age-appropriate incentive. So our youngest readers will get a reading buddy. We call it, it's just a stuffed animal, but they love those. We ran out last year because they were so popular. And then our teens and our adults get a tote bag of sorts, which are always popular. And after your second checkpoint prize, after your 20th day of reading, is a reader reward card. So thanks to the generosity of local businesses, we have 6 or 7 businesses who have across the county who have said, okay, you give your reader this card, they come in and visit my store, and they're going to get something free. My favorite one to recommend is Kilwins on Bay Street, and also Kilwins across the county. They always give a free treat to our readers over the summer. And then the third prize is your entry into the grand prize drawings, which are generously donated by over 50 local businesses, everything from a 2-night stay at Sonesta to gift cards to local restaurants. But just for playing, we give you a free book. So for adults, you get a gift card or a gift certificate for our Friends Book Sale corners. And for our younger readers, we have an assortment of popular kids' books that they get to pick from. So there's really no reason not to participate. And you guys are getting the game boards first, so I hope those are the first ones I see get turned in.
Amanda, are they going to be doing the lunches this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
The next part is that the summer lunch program is returning, and it will be at all locations, including Port Royal. So all 6 locations will be hosting the summer free lunch program that is funded by the USDA, and it is in partnership with the Beaufort County School District. So Monday through Friday, anyone under the age of 18 will be able to visit a library and get a free lunch. Those are cold lunches, so it's not like a hot lunch. It's like a field trip kind of a lunch, if you remember going on field trips. And we just encourage people to come in and take advantage of that opportunity. We know that kids don't stop getting hungry in the summertime. Even though the schools are closed, they can come to us for lunch and books. Our second strategic plan goal is collections, and so I wanted to share some more data with you. If you look at our annual monthly circulation data, and I'm talking about the physical items that you hold in your hand plus the digital items that circulate on Hoopla. This year, our average monthly circulation is 72,835 items that are being borrowed. Last year, in 2024, it was about 70,182 items borrowed per month. So we're seeing more items go out, which is great. We still have 2 more months to go. And June or May and June are some of our higher circulating months. So those averages may average up a little bit higher, but very pleased to see that a year-to-year comparison, more items are moving this year than were moving last year, which means people are reading and enjoying the usage of their library card. Everyone in this room, I believe, I think you've heard me talk about Wonder Books, but for the sake of the public viewing at home, I'll explain what those are. Imagine when I was a kid, I had a record player and a book. Did you all see those ever when you were growing up? You had a record player and a picture book, and you would put the record on, and then it would go bling for you to turn the page. The 2025 version of that is a wonder book. It is a picture book or a chapter book. They come in all sorts of content, but we'll use a picture book for the sake of my example. Imagine a picture book that in the cover has a little player. So no need to have a record player anymore. The player's embedded into the cover. And you would press play, add some headphones, or just listen to the onboard speaker, and it will read to you while you follow along in the book. So these are called Wonder Books. And we received a donation to get our first collection at St. Helena. But because of the ability to have additional funding, we're actually through our Friends of the Library of Beaufort and also through our materials budget, we're able to get Wonder Books at all locations. Yay. So you can now walk into every one of the Beaufort County libraries and start to see these available for checkout. So get one, try one, maybe with your grandson. All kinds of fun characters, and the beauty of it is you can listen as you read, but it also has an interactive mode. You can toggle it to that and it will ask you questions about what you read. So really kind of cool. Third, in terms of space, and this is where my eyes light up. Sometimes I struggle to tell you something that we've done to improve or enhance library spaces. You know that replacing a carpet tile or something like that is a lot more involved than getting Wonder Books on the shelf. So I'm very pleased to tell you, with the help of our Capital Projects Department, we have completed and are in the process of completing several enhancements. In this building right now, the exterior has been spruced up, some shrubbery trimmed. I'm going to show you a picture so you can see the before and after to really get the appreciation. Carpet on the second floor, when you leave the elevator, has been replaced. You're gonna give me an ooh and a ah in just a moment. So hold for that. And we're in the process of refreshing our exterior signage. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of seeing Lynn at Hilton Head Library. We received a new circulation desk. You're going to see a picture of that. The other one was no longer able to be re-glued and re-put together, so our capital projects team heard my cry for help and worked out a way for us to get a new desk there. Audra and I have been working on getting bike racks refreshed around our libraries. Lobico Library does not have one, and so we're trying to get one for them. And then our reading garden at Hilton Head is scheduled for renovation late May, early June. I know council already approved the greenery for that contract. So lots of great things, but here's the pictures. Before and after. That was the ooh and the ah, yeah. This was before, and this is after on the landscaping. And here is the Hilton Head desk, before and after. So just wanted to show you those. More pictures to come because the end of the year hasn't happened and there's still more projects to go.
Great job.
It's amazing. Stacy, in her monthly report, she mentioned, and I swear she heard me say this, but I'm going to give her the credit. It's amazing what a new trash can will do to improve the exterior. It's just amazing. You replace a trash can and it feels like a whole new building. So these little, what seem as small, really do have a big impact. So our fourth and final strategic plan goal is communication, and we're trying to deliver timely, relevant communication both internally and externally to the public. So here's where I'm going to brag on our staff. Our strategy number 4 under this goal is to explore opportunities to better connect with the public. So during National Library Week, our staff did that in 2 ways. Number 1, you heard me talk about them visiting other county departments. And we did. They showed up with library swag, with information about library resources. I had a call from Victoria Hoffman with recycling and that arm of Public Works, and she said, "Do you have more? Because we have more people." So it was really good to hear that excitement from other county departments to learn about the library. Aside from that, our staff each on their own picked out local community organizations, businesses, places they wanted to go visit. So on a separate day during National Library Week, staff went to a variety of places. I went to a Hispanic grocery store on 170, introduced ourselves, My administrative assistant is very fluent in Spanish, so we were able to make a connection there and drop off information about library cards. Our Beaufort staff went to Help of Beaufort, which is a local nonprofit that provides food and other support to individuals when they're experiencing situations that require those. It's a slew. If I were to sit here, we'd be here all day to talk about all the places we went. But it's just that idea of wanting to let people know that the library's here, that we're great, and we have a lot of great things to offer. So there's some pictures of our team out and about. And then finally, I'll end with some upcoming programs that you might be interested in. Just in case you're wondering, we provide about 33,000 public events at our libraries that we host, aside from meeting room usage. There's just the amount of programs that our library staff provide to the public is about 33,000 or more. That's a lot if you were to divide that by 6 locations and 52 weeks. Very soon, on June the 5th at Hilton Head and June the 7th at St. Helena, we're able to host a screening about public libraries. Independent Lens, a subset of PBS, has made available for a very limited time the opportunity to see a documentary called Free for All, the Public Library. I've previewed it because I wanted to make sure that it was bipartisan, that it was just about libraries. And it is just about libraries and how wonderful public libraries are and how they've changed over time. So I will be facilitating the screening and conversation. I've asked your chair, Lynn Miller, to be present on both of those days, and we've asked our friends groups to be present on those days so that we can kind of have a conversation post-screening about the value of libraries and what can we do to keep libraries vibrant for the future. We also, as I mentioned, have our summer reading kickoff on Saturday, May the 31st. You can go to any library in any part of this county and experience a program. An exciting program just to kind of get people happy and excited about summer reading. So stop in and partake. In Bluffton, we're going to host a Learn to Draw comics class. It's a series of 5 workshops for teens. So if you know any teens who are interested in comics, in illustration, they're going to be able to be taught by local illustrator Jenna MacArthur about how to do that. One of our big summer reading performers this year is Riverbanks Zoo. They'll be at every location between June 3rd and June 5th. Their program is Color Our World, Our Wild World, and they will bring in critters. I don't know which kinds, but they will bring in some critters and tie that into reading. We also will have Dr. Ashley Oliphant talking about shark teeth, shells, and our shores at the Bluffton Library, Hilton Head, Lobico, and Beaufort in the month of July. And then to entice science and STEM, we will have Science Heroes and the Missing Color, science experiments, and also tying it back down to books and how to further explore science through books. That will be at Bluffton, Lobico, and Beaufort. So as you can see, it is exciting times at the library, always, but most especially during the summer. That is the end of my part, but I will ask if you have any questions that I can answer or something I didn't cover.
Oh, go ahead.
For the intern positions, is the library still actively?
Yes.
Okay, and then what are the age ranges?
For
Or
the
what's
interns?
minimum age range. So are you looking for high school students, college students?
HR leaves that kind of blanket for us, but I believe the minimum is 16. Yeah, the minimum is 16. They would like us to get those filled sooner rather than later. So if you know someone that's interested, please have them submit ASAP.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And they would apply through the county's website.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Congratulations on completing Leadership Beaufort. That's great. I mean, it's very time consuming, as I know, and I'm glad that you were able to do that. So that's a big plus. Thank you. Our next we'll have the committee reports. Joe, would you like to give your financial report?
Yes, I will. Thank you. First off, library financial report is certainly not as colorful as the director's report, but I hopefully will try to make it as interesting as we can. The documents that we'll be going through, 3 documents, are up on the screen. They are also in your packet. So you can follow this whichever way is more convenient for you. What I'd like to do is start here with our special funds, and starting at the top left-hand corner, we'll take a look at our library system state aid lottery. And as you can see, we've received all 4 installments this year here. We've received in $468,000. You'll note that we've spent $276,000 so far this year, leaving us a residual of about $192,000. And again, just as a reminder, these dollars are exclusively devoted to library materials, and we'll be revisiting that number later as we get into the materials report. Now, moving over one column to the right, looking at impact fees, and you'll note that at the far bottom right-hand corner, we are at $5.2 million, which is the total impact fee budget allotment that we have. This, I think, is a high point for the library itself. Now, impact fees are divided into the old system, new system. Old system, we're carrying about $4.2 million in balance. In the new system, over on the left-hand side, bottom half of the column there, just under $1 million there. Since our last meeting, the library system has taken in about $84,000 roughly. And during this period, we have had no expenditures from our impact fees at all. So this leaves us a balance of about $5.2 million. Now, of that number, roughly half is already spoken for, or is under what is called really earmarks or identified applications here. We have, I think it's, we have $750,000 identified for Pritchardville Library itself. Bluffton Phase 2 and Hilton Head, we've identified $800,000 for each of those 2 projects, which means that roughly half of our impact fee application has already been identified, leaving us with about $2.5 million in unidentified applications here. I would imagine much of that will be devoted towards the Pritchardville Library once that gets underway, which really means that the library is in a comfortable shape impact fee wise. We have enough to handle current identified projects and enough to handle future projects going forward. The far right-hand column is special trust. There's no material changes there whatsoever. So let's skip over that, and then let's go over to our next report, which is really the budget itself. Okay. Now, at this point, we're 10 months into our fiscal year, roughly 84% of the way through. And if you look at the very bottom, you'll see that we have spent roughly 80% of our budget versus being about 84% through the year. When we take a look at the personnel services that we have, which is really the staff costs there, we're right on target. 84% of the way through the year, 83% spent. On operating expenses, 84% of the way through the year, 59% spent. Much of that difference is really is identified as timing. A big portion of spent money is really in library materials, and again, that goes towards timing because much of the subscriptions for leased books, new books, those expenses come towards the end of the fiscal year and have not yet impacted the accounting system there. So when we take a look at that, when we take a look at a couple other items that Amanda has identified in terms of training expenses, we're very much on target. It's simply a matter of timing, nothing extraordinary there. We would anticipate ending the year very close to or perhaps a little bit under our budgetary amounts all the way through. Okay, so let's move over there to the materials report, which is really sort of my favorite report of the whole, because really the materials represents the stuff that is on the books, everything that's available to our patrons, and this is really what draws what really draws the public into the Beaufort County Library systems. Okay. Now, so far, year to date, 10 months of the way through, we spent $521,000. which is a little bit less than where we were this time this year. But again, much of it is really just due to timing, and those are just unexplainable things here. The sources of our funding, most of it so far is coming from state aid, and the balance of it is from the county, roughly 53% from state aid, 48% from county funds. So far this year, you take a look at the numbers here, most of the money has been spent on hoopla. About 72% of our dollars have been spent on hoopla. But again, that's a matter of timing, because when we take a look at lease books and book subscriptions, those bills will come in the last couple months of the fiscal year. So it's simply a matter of timing there. We're not spending all of the library materials on digital materials. A lot of it is still in print and in hard copies. Now, the next thing that we take a look at in this is saying, where are we going to be at the end of the year? And there's still a lot of money that is left, that's on the table here to be spent. We have on our remaining county materials budget about $220,000. Unspent state aid, we have 192. We would expect to get something from Friends, and when we add all these dollars together here, we're looking at about $984,000 in potential spend on materials, which means that the director has a lot of checks to sign before the end of the year there. And this would really bring us to where we should be as the Beaufort County Library. We're close to $1 million, which is really where our target should be. And also at this point, what I'd like to do is to really thank our people from Beaufort County, because the money that we see for materials, the money that we see devoted towards the library system is very important. And I think the money is very well spent in terms of the public good to get this, that is really available to everyone here in the county. So thank you for that. Okay. And that really wraps up the financial report, and if there are any questions, we'll do our best to respond to them.
Are there any questions? I want to say that the only thing I ever hear from the public about our materials is more. We want more. So, but I think what for the money that, I think we have a lot of money, first of all, and I think you do a really good job, Amanda, putting it where it needs to go. So thank you for that.
What I hear the most frequently is people clamoring for books and it taking a longer time to get access to the books. You know, I love the fact that they're clamoring, but you don't want them to clamor so much that they, get turned off. But because a lot of people still particularly on current popular titles, have to wait quite a while to actually get the book in their hand.
But anyway, thank you so much. And thank you, Joe, for that report. That's great. The next committee report is policies and procedures. Janine, have we done anything? Okay. Kathy Cooper is chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, but she is on a vacation. So Janet, do you have anything to say?
No, I want to continue to commend Amanda for the fact that we have such a good strategic plan. And, you'll notice, particularly Michael, you'll notice that we present every month in accordance with what we're accomplishing relative to the strategic plan, because there's nothing worse than a strategic plan that sits on a shelf and that you realize after a year hasn't driven the board. So we want our board agenda to be driven by those 4 objectives in the strategic plan, and Amanda keeps us informed and so we get tied back to what we said strategically we wanted to accomplish. So she does a great job with that.
Thank you. Janet, you are chair for the request for reconsideration committee. Is there anything in the works for that?
Yes, just so that the public is aware, the reconsideration committee's been around for years, and it's an opportunity for people who have concerns about books to raise that concern, and we have a whole policy in place to process those requests, and we do not have any requests at this time.
Thank you. Library facilities, Shauna Kalpa is not. Bernie, do you have anything? Bernie, do you have anything?
Holding pattern, trying to get some new projects going.
like to know, when is the Bluffton Library going to be completed? They did a beautiful job revamping 3/4 of the library, but 1/4 of the library has not been updated. And we certainly have a lot of money in the impact fees. And I want to know, is there any possibility of completing that portion?
What I understand is the county has a list of projects that they need to get done, and we are on the list. So when we get around to that, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, so each year, around November, December of each year, every department is able to put in their request for capital projects, of which the Bluffton renovation would be a capital expense. And so I put that forward along with the Pritchardville May River Library, the replacement of our self-check machine. I'll put forward all of our wants and wishes, and then they have a committee that determines what they're able to feasibly do in a calendar year. And they rank those and they go through a process. So I don't yet know what's going to be greenlit for fiscal year 26, but that's a part of the budget process. And so I will soon know if any of our projects are going to proceed in the next year.
What about does the fact that Bluffton has so much money in impact fees that it could easily, a portion of that could pay to just refinish what wasn't finished?
It's to do with the ranking of all of the county projects, and then what personnel there are at the county level to be able to administer each of those projects. So it's just a ranking system. The money is nice, but it doesn't guarantee that it's going to take priority over another county project. And if there's anything else y'all like to add, feel free.
Well, obviously, a lot of the money that's there for Bluffton is also going to be for the new library that's sorely needed there, based upon the number of people who are coming into the county and taking a look at the long-range growth in the county. This is going to be a high priority of actually having an additional library.
I think everyone shares the desire to see the existing Bluffton Library get that final completion. It's just a matter of doing that with our other counties, other projects.
Amanda, when will, we know it's on the list. It's been on the list for over a year, right? How long has it been on the list?
I just have a question. As you said, it's finishing. What do you know, or Amanda, you might know, what still needs to be finished? Because we did this. Okay.
There's some repair projects I see on here for the roof and the HVAC. Not
those
sure
are
which
separate.
project.
Okay.
So it's a phase 2. We can talk about that offline, but
Okay.
it's phase 1 was done 2021, 22, and then it was always a 2-phase process so as to not shut down the library completely for the totality of the renovation. What's left is a staff area and the present-day nonfiction area.
But just to put this in perspective, this is our busiest branch. We've had, because this was a phase 1, phase 2, and we did phase 1 in 2020 and 2021, is that right? Yeah. So it's 2025. We've been planning for this phase 2 now for years, so anything you could do to help us would be much appreciated.
And in the middle of that, though, we did get the gift of the Fort Royal Library. So I don't want
Yeah.
a surprise.
Right.
But a much
Bluffton Library actually came in under budget, and they never completed it, and I was so surprised, because it actually came in under budget, so there must have been money
I'll
enough.
definitely have that discussion.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Next, the liaisons, Friends of the Library liaisons. Brenda, were you able to attend the meeting?
I'm gonna apologetically defer to Amanda, but before I do that, because Rosalie luckily has got my mind working. Last time, Amanda, you reported on the Burton Wells Locker project. What has happened with that?
They're in operation.
How's that going?
It had 2 months of pretty standard usage, I would say, pretty average usage. Last month wasn't as what we hoped for, but we did have some library closures, and there was kind of a hinky thing going on with the technology of that, but we've had a technician come out and tweak that. So I'm hoping that it will get back to normal usage. But we have people who call us and thank us for it. Just not getting as much broader usage as I'd like, but I think over time it will.
So all the logo artwork and all that.
It's been we launched it officially to the public in January. We were there for a basketball tournament to kind of show people about it and drum up some interest. And since then, it's had about, I don't have the actual numbers, but anywhere between 20, I think it was around 20 pickups a month, which was pretty good for a start. This past year, it took a little bit of a hit, but I expect that to pick up in the summer.
And back to the agenda. Apologetically, in the past quarter, I got another grandchild, so.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And Beaufort Friends of the Library is always extremely busy and active, so I'm sure that Amanda can tell us what they've been up to.
Yes, they will meet, they'll have their annual meeting on Saturday, June the 14th. So they would encourage anyone who's interested to learn about who they are and what they do at that meeting. They'll have a lot of information on display. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say come join them on Saturday, June the 7th at St. Helena for a screening of the documentary I mentioned earlier. But they're moving, and they are constantly looking for ways to support the Northern Beaufort locations however they can. So appreciate them, and I know Jane's instrumental on their board. So just appreciate them for always wanting to help.
Thank you. Rosalie, do you have anything about Bluffton?
I went to the Friends of the Bluffton Library, had an appreciation lunch. This was a couple of weeks ago, and they were having this lunch in appreciation of all the supporters that were part of the Bluffton Library group. The Friends of the Library and all the people that helped out. And it was very nice, that's all I could say. And that was a way to thank those who were helping do things at the library, volunteers mainly. And that's one thing that I did participate in. And other than that, the Friends are always trying to raise more money. They are really always thinking about raising more money for the library.
Well, I just went to a very nice lunch with Mary Alice, what's her name?
Monroe.
Mary Alice Monroe is launching her new book. And so it was at Belfair, and there were 112 people there, and all they had to do was organize a lunch. And she came and spoke, and then they did a little they raffled off the character for her new book, to name the character. And it went for $1,200. Somebody paid $1,200 to have the name of a character in her book. So there's some good idea. I mean, to me, that would have been relatively easy. So if you want to pass that on, that's fine. So, anyway, thank you. Is there any old business? Oh, I didn't do the Hilton Head. Hilton Head is having a meeting. Oh, they're having their annual meeting May the 22nd. They've changed some of the bylaws, so that will be voted on. And they're doing, it's at 2 o'clock, so they're not doing a lunch. They're just going to do cookies and coffee. So if anyone is a member of the Friends at Hilton Head, be aware that that meeting's coming up. The Public Library Foundation did not meet since our last meeting. Is there any old business? Any new business? Amanda, do you want to say anything? Oh, Janine, you want to?
I just actually have a question for
Okay.
Amanda. I'm just looking at some of the annual statistics. I just note that the tutor.com option, it looks like we've really started to see an uptick in the use of that. Can you just kind of speak to what kind of, is that just getting the word out, and how are people utilizing that? Do you have any thoughts on?
It's really just word of mouth and being intentional about promoting it. We promoted it. We featured it in our one of our monthly card holder emails. That goes to about 60,000 card holders, and we saw a direct increase after that. And then also just actively talking about it. And and telling people about it.
Amanda, for all those people who are up late at night and can't sleep and are watching this video, remind them what Tutor is.
So tutor.com is a online tutoring resource available to anyone. It's not just for kids. It could be for anyone who wants some assistance with their learning. It could be assignment based or not. Every subject is included, you name it, from math to English, grammar, language learning. You have access to a tutor on demand, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's always an expert on the other end of the internet for you. And you can also do by appointment, or my favorite feature, if I were writing a term paper these days, I would submit it to tutor.com and have them provide me some critiques and some suggestive revisions before I turned it into my professor. So that's available. It's all for free. It won't ask you for a library card. It's just merely that you live in South Carolina. That is provided to every resident of South Carolina free of charge by the state library, and that funding is federally funded. So if you see any changes to federal funding, those resources like that could be impacted.
I'm really glad to see that that's being utilized. It's a great resource for our
You
community.
need to tell everybody you know. I know when you're on the ball field, tell them. Because I bet somebody's about to get on home plate and wondering about that assignment that's due.
It's on our fridge in our personal house as well, so.
Thank you. Amanda, do you want to say anything about the proviso or no?
What Ms. Miller's asking about is a state budget process and a proviso that will be voted on by a conference committee. They will choose between either the House version of a proviso or the Senate version of the proviso. There are two very distinct different versions of that proviso, and it does determine how we get funded through state aid. You heard earlier about how much state aid is important to us, and so the House version is what librarians across the state have been advocating for. It still gives us accountability as libraries in our collections, but it doesn't do the additional requirements as the Senate version places on it. So they will go before a conference committee next week. So if you are inclined and wish to contact representatives and senators, you may do so. I have shared with you who the conference committee members are. None of those are local to Beaufort, but they are representing the entire state by serving on that conference committee.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that. That's great. All right, is there anything else? I don't think so. Our next meeting will be scheduled at Bluffton. It'll be on July 16th at 4 o'clock, with the Finance Committee usually meeting at 3 o'clock, if you're available. Can I have a
Motion to adjourn.
yes?
Terry, second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Terry.
Yeah. Opposed? No one? Thank you. All right.